everyone, and welcome to today's overview webinar. We are going to be looking at the Salt River Project Business Intelligence Web Tool using ZoomProspector technology. My name is Elisa Sklar, and I am the VP of Marketing here at GIS Planning. I do have some guests with us today, and I'll introduce them in a moment. I just want to take a moment to welcome you all here, taking time out of your busy days. We've got about 30 minutes here to show you an overview and answer any questions you might have. So I am very delighted to have with me here today two people from the Salt River Project team. We have Mark Valenzuela, the Senior Project Manager, and Natalia Cunho, the Economic Development Coordinator. Welcome to you both.
Hello, everybody. My name is Natalia Cunho, and I'm part of the Economic Development team at SRP, together with my colleagues Mark Valenzuela and Carla Moran. SRP is a public utility that provides water and power to more than 2 million people in central Arizona. And our economic development team works with businesses interested in expanding or relocating within our service territory. And we work very closely with all the communities and support them in economic development projects and other initiatives. One way to support our partners is by providing a GIS data tool on our website, power2growphx.com, where each city can highlight their best sites in their communities. That's why in the last few months, I've been asking many of you to send me an updated list of sites. And this tool is also valuable because it provides a lot of data on demographics, labor force, occupation, talent, and much more for all the communities within our service territory. So next, you're going to hear from our experts at GIS Planning on how to best utilize this tool and learn more about the type of data that you can find in here. So thank you, everybody, for attending, and we hope this is helpful.
Thank you so much, Natalia. I appreciate that introduction. We are really delighted to be working with your team and to be able to provide this service to everyone within the territory of the Salt River Project. I'm going to just give you a bit of an overview of what this tool actually does, and then I'm going to jump into it and show you how you can use it to access data, save, and share. So just as an overview, the ZoomProspector tool, we've been around for 25 years, and we are the leading provider of this kind of GIS data tool for site selection, for economic development. And I think of it as GIS for the non-GIS user. The idea is that it is intuitive, it's easy for anyone to use. And so by hosting this on the website, the Salt River Project is putting this key data in the hands of local businesses and of potential investors looking to make location decisions within the territory, so they can do all kinds of assessments in the different communities and then around specific properties. So what I'd like to do then is jump into a presentation of the tool itself so that you can see what it is that we're actually looking at. So over here you can see on the SRP website, which is power2growphx.com, you can click over to commercial sites. They've got it front and center, so it's very easy to find from the header drop down here. You've got this tool which is built into a box on the page itself. So I will share this link as well, of course, in the follow-up email so that you can take a look at that. And when you open the tool, when you first come to it, you'll see the first thing that is there is the property search. That is the first part of the tool itself. At the very top, you'll also see there is a tab that takes us to Explore Communities. That gives you the community data without the property data. A Compare Communities tab, which I'll show you in a minute. And then, of course, you've also got a shortcut to occupation data specifically, because I know that's a really big one. So when you come to the first tool, you've got the properties on one side and you've got the territories down here. Now, these smart bubbles let you drill down. So that shows that there's 25 properties. And when I click in further, you can see that the different sites are there. You can search for them on the map, or you can search for them within the tool itself over here. So that's another possibility as well. So I'm also just going to show you on this tab that this is what happens if you go to the Explore Community tab. So there you can choose the different regions. You can do the entire Salt River Project region. You can search by county, or you can search by city data. So when we look at the different community reports, you'll see that depending where you're coming from, you can look for data specific to your region. Now I'm just going to flip over to this screen because it's a little bit bigger, so that way you'll be able to see things a little bit bigger for you. And again, I see questions coming in here. I'm so happy. I just want to remind you to please put any questions in the questions field and we'll take a look at them at the end because that is really our goal here. So what I'm going to do is just pick a particular site. Let's open this one up and you'll see what the property report looks like. Now on the property report, you have the choice between looking at it with a regular map or with a satellite view over there. And you'll see that there's all kinds of information in the property listing over here. There's over 400 fields that are possible, but we only show the ones that have information entered on them. There's also a direct contact link right on the property report. So someone can enter their information and you will, in this case, Carla will get a email notification letting her know that someone is interested right there. So we really want to make call to action on these properties very easy for people to find. Now, directly on this property, there's all kinds of research that people can do. And these are the different reports up here at the top. So from here, they can go and look at occupation data. And I'm just going to give you an example over here. If they want to look at management occupations, what that does is it will generate a heat map around a particular property that will show how that data variable falls across this particular geography. Now we can change the radius. We can go up to 300 miles. Let me change this to 50 miles here just for a moment so you get a little more information. You can also drag it using the radius tool over there. That's just 1 mile. Or you can look at minutes. And the nice thing about minutes, of course, is that it is variable depending on what the mode of transportation is. You can look by truck, you can look by car, you can look by walking, you can look by date, time of day, from location to the location. So in that way, you're able to get more of an assessment, what commute time actually looks like around a specific area. Let's go back over to radius for a moment and we can see a little bit more information. Now, sometimes people say, what are the data sources? So at the bottom of every single report, you'll see that we have data sources, citations entered for every single report. So if that's something you're looking for, you can go in and check that. All right, let's go back to the property search here for a moment. I'm going to pick something over here. Let's pick a site over there. Okay, we're going to go over to this property report. Let's take a look at another report using that one. So in this case, we can look up demographics data for a particular property. Now, you're going to see in a moment that you can do all of this same research actually just for without the properties, for the communities as well. So again, we've got this kind of heat map over here that lets people see what that looks like. For people, one of the things we've been doing is making things more compliant for people with disabilities. So for people with low vision, it is possible to show this with patterns and colors as well. That's one of the ADA compliance is one of the things that I know governments increasingly need to offer. Right now, what I'm doing is I'm showing the 20 to 29-year-olds within 10 miles. We can make this 30 miles again as I show you, and that helps you understand how that demographics falls across there. You also see that we have projections for 2026. Similarly, there's a labor force report that allows you to get all kinds of information about labor force. You can switch between a table view and a charts view if that's something you would like to do. And you can show these things in various ways. So if you want to see what heavy construction looks like, we can actually map that across around this particular property. So these are the kinds of questions that site selectors and investors are interested in looking at, and it's one of the things that we really want to be able to offer. Consumer expenditures is really important, especially for retail. Again, we have many consumer expenditures values. This is a nice way to generate content for newsletters and social media. I really like consumer expenditure data that way. So if you want to know how much did people, within 50 miles of this property spend on women's clothing, this heat map will let you do that, and this is something that you can share. Now I can switch between the block group and the zip code if I want to drill down, so that granularity is really important for us here as well, so that you can see both at the hyper local but also hyper regional level. And this is important, especially when retailers are trying to make decisions about where to go. There is similarly a wage report that you can look at, and there's all kinds of ways to break that down, annually, hourly as well, and there's the mean and median. Within the report itself, you can switch from alphabetical, maximum value, minimum value. So these are dynamic reports that you can change there as well. Now the business report is really cool. Let's switch over to this one actually. In this case, what I've done is I've chosen the town of Chandler within the area, so the properties are not showing here. Then this is a business report. We get this data from Data Axle, formerly known as Info Group USA, and this is a daily pull. So this will show every single day all of the different businesses in any area. We know businesses are opening and closing all the time. Their data is human qualified. If you notice something that's missing, then feel free to let us know. They're very, very responsive, and that will help us get that information. Now we can zoom in if we want to, but I often find that it's a little bit dizzying with all these kinds of dots. So what I like to show people is that it is possible also to turn them off and then to drill down to get specific information. Let me zoom back out here for a second so you see the region. And we're going to look at professional, scientific, and technical services. And I want to research all of the attorneys' offices in this area. So this now shows us every one of the attorneys' offices in the region, and we can go in and take a closer look at them if we want to do that. You can also actually click on it. It takes a little moment, especially when I'm presenting, but it will show the names of all of them, and you can research them in that way. So again, for an e-newsletter, for a LinkedIn post, or a report, or a slide deck, if you want to be able to show that information, it's easy to do that. How do we share this information? That's one of the superpowers of a ZoomProspector, is that we've got this share button built into every single one of the reports. And the share button allows you, of course, to email it. It allows you to, you could download it as a PDF, you could print it, you could share it directly to social media. But this here, this hyperlink that you can copy, is really, really powerful, because I could use that hyperlink to put a link on the website, in a LinkedIn post, in a newsletter, in a slide deck, in an email, whatever you actually want to do. And that allows you to share very nuanced kinds of information with people. Now, I've been showing you the different reports. Let me show you the last one over here, which is the talent report. Again, all these reports are available with properties, or in this case, for the communities on their own. Talent report allows us to show the top fields of study and degrees conferred and the top universities within a region. We can go for this one, I think, up to 100 miles away. That's important, of course, because you're drawing from talent in a wide range. They don't just stop at the service territory line, but this is all the potential talent you could draw from. And it allows you to see what the top programs are, what the top universities are. The universities also indicated here on the map if you want to look at that. So that's something you could do as well. And then you could go down here and see actually what are the degrees conferred. So this gives you some really great information about who the talent pool is, what workforce, a workforce picture for the region, if that's something that you'd like to share. I really love the talent report. I think it's quite powerful. And of course, just a reminder that there is a shortcut here to the occupation data on the tab at the top. So you can always get there, and that will show you for the entire region. Let us take a look at saving or sharing. So again, I'm going to go back to Explore Communities. Let's pick a city. I'm going to pick the city of Fountain Hills, the municipality of Fountain Hills in this case. Let's say you are attending from Fountain Hills and you want to share this overview. It's a beautiful infographic, it's interactive, so you can see over time what things look like. And if you want to share that, you can grab this link and put that link on your website if you were with the municipality of Fountain Hills, and that will take people to this About page where they can look at all these reports for Fountain Hills by connecting to the website. This benefits everybody, of course, because you're sending them to this open access data portal on the Salt River Project website. So be aware that that share is very, very powerful. Now over here, you'll see we've got a map layers button. The map layers button allows us to go in and get information. So you see the service area mask is what we've got for the Salt River project that shows us. If you want to take a look at that without, it's possible to take that off and then you still see the region, and you can turn it back on at any point by clicking it on or off over here. There's all kinds of great data here, from broadband data to energy, environmental, geography, if you want to start looking at census tracts, MSAs. We can turn those off and get a dizzying looking map sometimes when we do that. Let's turn off broadband for a second so you can see what some of the other ones are. Incentives, so op zones or hub zones, new market tax credits, post-secondary education, if you want to show the technical schools and the universities and colleges in the area, that can be a great map. Now again, you can use the map tools at the bottom, you can export maps, you can take pictures from there, you can use the share button and direct people back. This will be a link that will show them with those map layers activated. So that's really quite powerful to be able to build that in. I'm going to go back over to the property report. Here, let me pick one over here. We'll pick a property, another one that we can take a look at. Let's see, how about this one, the Queen Creek Crossing. One thing that I would like to show you is something that we added earlier this year, which is our 3D rendering tool. The 3D rendering tool allows you to go in, or anybody who's using the website, and you can draw a spec building that you can use to literally picture your potential investment in the area. You can adjust the height if you want. It shows square footage, but it also shows the height of the building. It's maybe a bit high for the area, but let's leave it there for the moment. We have preset decorations that you can pick. If you want to make it look like any of those, you're welcome to do that. You can expand horizontally or vertically to make things look different if you would like to kind of play around with that. And you can also play with the color palette if you've got a branding color, opacity, light intensity. And the nice thing about this is you can then save this if you want to. So let's say you want to show people something in that area. You can choose, I'm going to call this in case 3D rendering number 1. I save it. It now appears over here. Only I can see this and the admins at Salt River Project. They can actually see that. However, you could grab this share link and now you have a shorthand link that you can use to show people a building that you've designed in a particular area. You could put it in all kinds of marketing just to help people picture their investment. A couple of other things that you can do from here. We have a virtual tour. This uses Google Earth technology because we're using the Google API. And this allows people to see a 360 virtual flyover of the area. So this gives them a sense of any nearby schools, infrastructure, basically what the terrain looks like over there. So that's always an interesting one to add. And I've had a number of clients who grab screenshot video of this and use this in LinkedIn posts when they promote them. You can, of course, do Street View if you want to go down there. You know, what does the truck entry look like? What does it look like from the area? You're all familiar, everyone's familiar with the Google. And of course, 3D rotation as well. So that gives you a bit of a sense of how you share and how you can explore territory around somewhere. If you want to go back and look at saving things, that's something you can do as well. I'm just going to open one more building here to show you how save works. To save, you use the little icon over here. Now, I've never saved anything on the SRP project. Now, I don't need a login or a password. I can create a folder. I'm going to call one yellow. I'm going to maybe call another folder white, and I'm going to create a pink one. So now I've got 3 different folders. Maybe I'm managing different building or facility options for 3 different prospective investors. When I come back to this property, I can choose any one of them and I can add this to yellow. I can go back and choose another property. Maybe I want to add this one to white. Maybe I want to put this one in white as well. Now we can also do this with reports or communities if you would like to do that. When I click on saved results, I can go and manage my folders. Let's go over to this is my yellow folder over here. Let me close this one. If I want to share this folder, I've got one site in it. I can now share the link to this folder that I've created. So I can send someone and say, hey, these are the properties that I think you might be actually interested in. Now let's see, I know that, let's see if Jeff has joined us over here. Hey, Jeff, how you doing?
Good, good. How are you doing?
Good. I'm going to pass this over to you if you want to say a few words. We have a lot of economic developers from the region on the line, just about what they need to know from the kind of support perspective.
Absolutely. So I think for Elisa, you wanted me to speak to showing the property admin, correct?
Well, we've got Natalia on the line with us, and Natalia actually will be entering everything on her end. So people will be sending a spreadsheet. Natalia, you can explain how you want people to do this, but what are some of the things that would be useful in terms of property attributes for people to send her to get their properties listed? And Natalia, if you want to jump in and tell us how what you want people to know about getting properties added.
Yeah, sure. So pretty much when we're updating the sites for each community, I send every community a spreadsheet which has all the information from location to like size, what's the name of the broker, main contact. So I already send all those fields, and you simply have to complete them and send them back to me.
Okay. So, and maybe what we can do as well is if there's anything additional you want to add to that. So just for everyone on this webinar to know, we have the capacity as far as the properties to show, unlimited photos, unlimited documents attached to it. So the way that would most likely work, and I don't know if this is actually in your spreadsheet, but you would have in the spreadsheet, if this is what we're doing, you would have like photo 1, photo 2, photo 3, and then what you would do is you'd have a URL to that photo. So the photo would need to be somewhere. Same with the documents. You can also include links to videos. That's fully supported in there. Those videos actually play in our pop-up viewer, so it doesn't take them over to wherever that video is hosted. It'll play right within our platform. I think the most important thing to note as far as the way the system works on our end, the most important attributes to have accurate would be the size, and it can be, we do ask for a minimum and maximum size, but if it's one size fits all, you would just put the same value. The property type is important. The location, so letting her know the best way possible to find that location, whether it's an address. If it's vacant land, it may not have an address. You could even provide a latitude, longitude, or like a link in Google Maps. That would help. And then finally, if it's for sale or for lease, those are kind of like the core attributes. Then beyond that, one great way too is, we have a description section in the property report, and that's a great way to, capture a lot of information, especially if you're just copying and pasting from an existing document. We do have additional property attributes that let you isolate it into those different kind of categories. However, the description of the property can really kind of do a good job showing that all for you. I think the utility information is important to get in there, but again, that's really up to what they're looking for over at Salt River. That spreadsheet, that's great that you're sending that. So in a way, she's kind of giving you everything she needs to be able to get that information and add it to the site. Is there anything you wanted to add to that?
Yeah, one of the main fields we always need is the coordinates, so we can map the site.
Oh, perfect. Yeah, so she's already in that spreadsheet. It sounds like you have it all ironed out. So in a way, yeah, you're providing that to her, and then she's doing the heavy lifting of, adding it into to the site selection tool for you. So which is really great. So as long as you're providing those and filling those out, those go right into the system. And then how long what's the typical turnaround time for you to have those added to the site?
It depends. I typically wait until I have the data from a few communities. So because we work internally in SRP with our IT team for them to upload all the data.
Got it.
So it might take a few weeks.
Okay. And and then you would just let me know if there's anything I can do on our end to kind of streamline that process for you. But as far as your users, I mean, if you're sending that spreadsheet out, you're basically asking for the information that you want or require. And then again, if there's anything additional that I can do to make that easier for you, just let me know.
Thanks.
Elisa, is there any other, I know I missed the beginning of this. Is there anything else?
Okay. Yeah.
that you wanted me to cover, or any questions that came up?
A couple questions that have come up as, do we show substations? And I see that we have the energy field, but I don't see substations on there. Is that something that we could add in?
So we have the capacity to host whatever layers we have here. So the layers that we have currently on here, it looks like, can you go out one level?
Yep.
So it looks like everything other than local data is provided by us through just data that we curate and maintain. If you don't see it in there, you could also look under local data. And then that's where you would also see, if substations were of use, if we can be pointed in the right direction where to get that and add it to the site, we can do that, or else that data can just be over to us.
Just real quick, this is Mark Valenzuela. So unfortunately, we wouldn't be able to add substation information, but if you reach out to myself or Natalia, we're happy to get you distances. That's, I guess, information that as a utility we're not able to share, and that's the same for utilities nationally.
So I think if you're requesting any layers, us on our end, we can always do that, but you would just send those requests over to Salt River, and then they would be the ones to either provide the data or say that's okay to add the data.
Got it. Okay. Thank you. Now, Heather, I think we answered your question on how you can add additional properties. Another question was, are definitions of terms provided? For example, what is a technical school? So we don't have those definitions provided. In the US, a technical school would be the 2-year college that covers specialized fields like, business, trades, finance, hospitality, tourism, etc. But generally, we don't have those things indicated on there. If you have any questions about what that means, certainly get in touch with us, and we're happy to provide that information to you. Martin asks, are we restricted to only adding information for our respective cities? And I guess probably the answer might be yes, but I suppose suggestions are welcome. Natalia, Mark, does that sound like a proper answer?
Yeah, typically we would rely on the city or the jurisdiction where the property is to send us the site. If it's in an unincorporated area or something like that, we can have a discussion around that, but typically we're relying on the jurisdiction that the property is in to submit the site to us.
Okay. Yeah, definitely. Please reach out to me and we can work on that.
Karen asks, how often are the properties updated?
So it depends. Whenever we get the data, I would say, but at least we try to do a heavy lift once a year.
Excellent. Okay. Now, this has brought us to the end of our half hour. However, I know that you may still have other questions. I'm going to put contact information up here on the screen. Anything specific to Salt River Project, you can reach out to Natalia. Of course, you can reach out to Jeff with technical questions. My job in marketing is to work with folks to help them make the most of these tools for investment promotion and place marketing. We welcome your questions. You will, of course, get an email from us tomorrow with the link to the video and the link to the site itself, so you can explore it and see what information you need. Mark, Natalia, Jeff, I want to thank you all very much for joining us today.
Absolutely.
Yeah, thank you, Jeff and Elisa. This has been great and very helpful.
Our pleasure. Wonderful. Thank you all again for taking time out of your busy days. We look forward to continuing the conversation and we wish you all the best. Have a great day. Bye-bye.